So I did something I've never done before.
Oh, you've had an ice bath.
No, I've had one of those.
Yeah, you've made love to a man.
In an ice bath.
In an ice bath. What else have you not done before?
I know, you won't guess it.
Bungee jumping. Parasailing. You've been on a holiday.
Bungee jump, been on a holiday.
Yeah, happened on holiday.
Yeah, happened on the holiday.
Your hair braided.
No, close.
Got a Bing Tang singlet.
Yeah, I did go to Bali.
Yeah, piercing.
And I sent you annoying photographs of me lazing by the pool.
So cold in Melbourne, and you're in Bali.
Yeah, I know. It's hard work, isn't it? So staying at a resort on the island of Gilligaday.
Sounds like Gilligan's Island. Yeah,
very nice. A resort called Kokomo. It sits right in between two fishing villages.
Well, like the Beach Boys song. There really is a Kokomo.
Yep.
I thought he made that up.
A few Kokomos out there, but this is the Kokomo Gilligaday.
So between two fishing villages.
Oh, you're sitting at breakfast and cows walk past, goats, kids on the way to school. You really feel like you're experiencing the Indonesian culture, the life. You can walk up through the village and, there are little bars in there and they invite you into their house.
So they all hate your guts, really.
Well,
Big white man.
I gotta say,
you don't get that vibe?
Don't get that vibe at all. They're very beautiful. The children are beautiful.
Yeah, careful.
Just so
yeah. Jeez. No, I've never been to Bali, so I don't know. I've been all around the world. I don't know. I've never been to Bali.
Well, as I've always said about Bali, you go to one of the best resorts in the world, having the best food in the world, then you step out of the resort into a hole and get bitten by a rabid dog.
Yeah.
So, but Bali now, since COVID, it's cleaned up. It's a bit quieter. It's got a great energy about it. We stayed in the best resort I've ever stayed. Kokomo was on the island, that was great, but then I stayed on the main island, that was great. But Kokomo needs more people to go there. They want to keep the resort because it employs the locals and it's all very good. All the staff there are locals. So I said to them, I will make a little video for you.
Oh, my God. And they went, "Why? Who is this man making video for us?"
Well, the owner is an English guy and an Australian guy.
Bloody great, Glenn.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Then you're looking for a bit of a discount on the bill?
Oh, no, not really.
10% off.
Yeah. So I say to the other guy who is Balinese, I go, "Can you film me tomorrow? Because I want to do this. I want to do a joke."
Yeah.
So I get up in the morning and he slept in. So I'm going, okay, because I'm doing the joke at the end of the pier.
Yeah, great.
And the joke is that I am saying, do you want to know where I go for a holiday? Can't tell you. It's a secret. It's a very fantastic place.
And then it spins around accidentally?
No, I'm actually doing it in front of, my head is masking the sign of where we are.
Oh, great.
And, then I step away to point to the resort and I reveal where we actually are.
And then you do the whole, hey, whoa,
yeah, exactly. What's going on? Hey, you weren't meant to see the sign. It's meant to be a
Benny
secret.
Hill.
Now everyone's going to, shh, don't tell anybody this place is a secret.
It's like when Benny Hill used to stand in front of the women's toilet and he'd block the WA and it said men. And then a bloke would walk into the women's, get chased out by women, and then Benny Hill would walk off and would say women. Remember that classic one?
Classic, yeah. Well, it was like that.
Or you go to a conference and a woman had a name on her chest saying Pat.
And another one, she worked in the elevator and she had a lift.
Yes. Oh, Benny.
Yeah.
Oh,
Benny,
God.
poor old Benny.
Get arrested now.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben Elton went in big time. And, and when he was alive.
Upset him.
Really upset him. I learned a lot of my tricks from Benny Hill. Anyway, so I get up and I want to shoot. It's a beautiful morning. Yeah. I'm going to shoot at the end of the pier. I'm going to do the reveal joke. I try to do a handheld. I went, I can't do it.
It's too hard.
Can't do it handheld. So I go back to the bar and all the staff are there. And I go, can someone work a video for me? And there were two guys. There's one who spoke hardly any English, and there was one who spoke a little bit of. He spoke English quite well, actually.
Yeah.
As we were walking out, I then had to explain it's not just a photo; it's a video.
Oh, you're moving,
and it's a reveal joke.
Oh, and see, he might see your mock anger as real anger.
He did.
Yeah,
he did. Exactly. And you. We'll put it on the. We'll put the video on.
Yeah, great on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Oh, fantastic!
I actually, his name. What was his name? His name.
And so, did he get really shocked when you?
Sorry. Yeah. Well, you can hear him go. Okay, I'll turn it off. I asked him his name. Let's just.
So, how do you say your name?
Mulki.
Yes. Thank you.
So his name was Mulki.
Mulki.
And Mulki's walking out the pier with me, and I'm explaining it, and that's exactly what happened. I'm going. What I'm trying to do is. And I didn't want to be patronising, but I'm going. Yeah. I'm trying to make a joke about me pretending to not tell you where I am and then revealing where I am. So we did a few takes, and then I looked at the shot, and the reveal was at the start. I'm going, no, my head has to block that, has to block the sign.
Oh, God.
So we did about quite a few because I couldn't see the frame. I couldn't tell what he was filming. When I'd go, no, he would think, like you said, that I was doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So
Mookie will be watching Russell quite one night. He not very nice man to his family. He yelled at me.
Exactly. Well, I've told him that I'm going to talk about him on the podcast, so hopefully he's listening. So I go, no, get my head to block it and then film it, and then I'll get angry at the end. But he still didn't quite understand that. Then we'll get the reveal and it'll be really good. So anyway, we did it, and then he watched it, and then he laughed.
Ah, there you go.
And he goes, "You didn't." And so I
got
went.
it.
So I what a beautiful thing to be able to create comedy with someone from another country, and neither of us speak their language very well. Do you want me to play it through here, or do you want to just
play it through here, and then we'll put the video up for the people that aren't on the Facebook group? Anyone can join, by the way.
Okay, so you can hear. You'll hear. So this is the one that we finally ended up.
This is one you decided on.
Hopefully, you'll be able to hear him. There's the first one where you can see the.
Oh yeah, Kokomo.
Yeah, where he's revealing it, and here, hopefully, you can hear him at the start. Hang on.
Okay.
Excellent. Do you know where I like to go on holiday? I can't tell you because it's a secret, but I can show you. It's down there. It's in Bali. It's a secret spot, and it's absolutely magnificent. If you do find it, I'll see you there, but don't tell anyone because it's a secret. Shh. Oh, you didn't see this. You weren't meant to see the sign. Yes. Yes. Turn it up.
Turned off. That's very good.
It's very good. That's very good. So I'm happy that we worked it out, and we walked back arm in arm back down that pier. That you can
What's
see
his name?
Mulkey.
Okay, we just got an invoice for him for $4,000.
What?
Oh, I'll play the music, Courtney. Here we go.
Welcome to Somehow Related Now. Please welcome your hosts Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
Welcome, everyone, to the podcast, and we'll put that video up.
I met another guy too. Hang on.
Oh, Jesus. Was this in Bali or?
There was two guys that I got to know.
Yeah.
There was, his name was Dirty.
Dirty.
He thinks his name is fun because he says, I'm Dirty Cool. And I'll play it for you.
Okay,
How do you pronounce your name?
Yes, my name is Daddy Cool.
So those, hopefully Dirty and Mulkey are listening. There you go.
Hello to them.
Hello to them and all at Kokomo.
Everyone at Kokomo.
Kokomo.
Anyway, look, thanks for listening to the podcast. Our new Bali listeners. We get two topics. We've got to work out how they're related.
And I reckon Sam will try and do something off the back of my story.
Balinese?
Yeah.
What are the topics, Sam?
Cows and sweat.
Oh, there were cows? Did you mention cows?
I said cows walk past
did.
with a bell on, and the guy's name was Mulkey.
Yeah.
Mulkey.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bit of a stretch.
And I started sweating when you talked about how beautiful the children were. No, I know what you mean. The kids over there. I've never been there, but kids in some of these places can be very friendly
and just so sweet and open. You know.
Yes, they haven't been corrupted by screens.
And you know what they're not doing? They're not walking down,
holding their phones.
Oh,
I hate that.
One little kid turned up with his little pop gun border pistol thing. Played for hours and then was firing it at me, and you're just going, this is what it's all about. And you're sitting next to it, swimming in a beautiful ocean.
Mate, you're back in Melbourne, it's freezing. It's like 1 degree in my car today. Oh, so cold.
I know. It's cliche to bore about Melbourne's weather, but hello to all Melbourne listeners.
Yeah.
We hear the suffering that because 2 weeks in Bali when it's 29 degrees. What a dick.
Mate,
Dave gets pissed off when I send photographs.
Oh, yeah. I was in Marimbula for one night. That was good. It was 18. Cows. What do you know about cows?
What do we know about cows?
I love cows. Yeah. I love the way they look. I love their mood.
So a cow is obviously different to a bull. A cow is always female.
Yeah, I assume so.
And a bull is always male. The bull's penis, is that in the middle?
I think you're right.
Yeah. What are they?
Well, they provide us with milk, meat.
What is their function in nature?
Yeah, they just would have grazed.
And they have no defence.
Yeah.
Do they? And what defence do they have against being attacked by other animals?
Yeah, I know.
It's not like we have lions and tigers and stuff and leopards taking them down.
Where are cows actually native to?
They have horns, though. Do they have horns? Bulls have horns.
Bulls have horns. Maybe in traditional... Where are cows from? Are they European?
I'm thinking... you just think...
Germany?
You just think United Kingdom. You
Oh,
think,
Britain. Yeah, of course. Britain. You'd think cows from Britain, right?
Yeah.
And
but
so-
Indonesia, they are sacred. Aren't they? Are they sacred?
In India,
India
are.
they're sacred.
Yeah. Yep. Hindu society. I assume if you've got the cows hanging out, the bull protects them.
That's why the bull is good at going
Always
with
angry.
They're going with his horns and sticking them in. They're very sensitive.
Are they?
Yeah, they are. They've got a really good sense of smell, really good sense of hearing, which may be their defense mechanism, meaning that they can smell trouble.
Beautiful hide.
What do they call them? They don't eat meat. They're herbivores. Aren't they?
Yeah, they eat grass. Yeah, absolutely. They eat grass.
They
eat grass.
Eat grass. Do they have like 3 stomachs or something, or 2
Yeah,
stomachs or
2,
something?
I think.
Which,
I just
why
always
is
think-
that?
I don't know.
Have you got, how many stomachs have you got?
Yeah, a few. I always think of that great joke in, it's not Dumb and Dumber, it's the Kingpin maybe, and he goes, I just milked your cow. He comes up with a whole bucket of white stuff. He goes, I just milked your cow. And he goes, we don't have a cow, that's a bull. Classic.
You know, I think whenever you drive past a field of cows, they give off a good vibe.
They do.
They're sitting there, they're going, how you going? I'm just chopping grass here, and in my quiet time I'm making a bit of milk, and you can take my milk. Well, I don't understand, though, why they continually make milk.
Yeah,
Because
I know.
They're not pregnant, they're not, or are they tricked? They're not tricked, are they?
It's a conditioning or something, isn't it? I
Maybe
don't know.
they're-
I know, though, they have to be milked, though. Once they get conditioned like that, they have to be milked because they're in pain if they don't get milked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before milking cows, the baby calves would have milked the mother cow. You know what I mean? And then, when the baby cows get too old for it, it's interesting, isn't it? Just drinking milk is an interesting thing, a weird thing in a way.
Have you ever milked a cow?
Oh, yeah. When we were kids or teenagers, we went somewhere and the guy
You-
gave... It was really
You
hard.
pull down and
Really hard.
you go...
Surely
into the
Russell
tin.
Coyte's been squirted in the face.
No, I've been urinated in the face by a camel and shat on my head by a camel, but nothing around cows. I
Bucket
don't
list
think.
tick.
Yeah.
You know who we should talk to? Someone who's from a dairy farm. There's a lot of
there's
comedians.
there's a couple of guys who've come from...
Well, Limo, but I don't think it was dairy because I've been to where his farm is.
what's his name? Wil Anderson.
Gleason. It was from a farm. Yeah, Wil Anderson was a dairy farm because I met his brother.
Where was it? He was from
Sale, kind of
Victoria.
Hayfield. Yeah, Sale. Yeah.
And he grew up on a farm, and his dad...
Yeah, they're still running the farm.
They're still running the farm.
Yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't live there anymore, but
No.
he said, Dad, I'm going to go out and become
A comedian.
a world-famous comedian.
What the hell?
Come on,
What
what
are
about... You can't. Yeah, well, I'll only come back and, work on the farm one day.
Yeah. Oh, well, do you want to call him?
Yeah, I reckon he would be very insightful.
Let's call him. Hopefully he picks up. Bring Will A as he's in my phone.
Just in case someone steals your phone.
Will I am. Will.
Hello, mate.
Will, it's Dave O'Neill and Glenn Robbins is with me.
Don't say anything inappropriate because you're on our podcast. I hope you don't mind coming on. Do you mind us ringing you at your relaxing time?
Isn't it called something inappropriate? Dave told me that I had to come on, and he said we were going to link two spoilers together. Was what he said.
No. It's
No. This is we are lobbying. Well, maybe not. He's not on the farm now. But the topics today are cows and sweat. And Dave said, well, we both know that you come from a dairy farm.
Yeah, we didn't know anyone else from a dairy farm. I know what Limo's farm was. What was Limo's farm?
I don't think that was dairy. I don't think he was a dairy boy. So, no, I'm happy to answer as many dairy questions as I can. But you are talking to someone who, once on Perth radio, they were doing a general knowledge quiz, and they asked how many teats a cow had.
Yeah.
And the answer, of course, is 4 to that question. And I said 6. And have you ever got something so wrong that the only option you have is just to try to convince the person asking the quiz that they're wrong?
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
when he said it was 4, I literally said, that's a pretty old-fashioned farm, mate.
I love confidence. Go in hard. All in.
You would have been young when you left. So your dairy farm was up near Sale, wasn't it?
It's a little place called Denison. It's about 250 people, and the most famous resident ever out of Denison, the guy, something newer, and he ran for the motoring enthusiast party.
Oh, yeah, Ricky Muir.
Ricky Muir.
Yeah, I love Ricky Muir.
Yeah, so there was a bit of a statistical anomaly in an election where basically just people voted for him instead of other people, and the preferences went through. And then there was a story about him on a current affair where he was throwing like cow manure over the fence at his neighbour or something.
Yeah.
But as it turns out, he ended up being quite a good member of parliament.
He was good. Yeah, he was good, Ricky Muir. Who runs the farm now? Your dad, when you were growing up, was your mum and dad, but who runs it now, Will?
Yeah, so my brother, Ross, he took over the family farm. Classic Nepo baby.
Yeah.
And farming is the original Nepo baby industry, really.
Yeah,
it's very generational, I've got to be honest with you. Growing up on Anderson's Road and my brother takes over the farm, it doesn't get more Nepos than that.
Wow, Anderson Road. Wow.
When you do your life story, your biopic, I'm seeing the opening credits of you sitting on the back of a car with some hay and you're just throwing...
milking a cow, sitting on a bucket and the milk squirts in his face.
Oh, okay, so it's funny already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had more of a romantic thing where they're throwing the hay out and the cows, their bells are ringing and the sun's shining and there's little blonde-headed kids there. Was that what it was like? Were you hands-on as a kid, or was it like you were in your room just tampering with yourself?
All right, okay.
Or reading comics. Listening to music.
Yeah, playing with your dolls or whatever. Yeah.
It's better to be out. It's better to be in the room doing that than tampering with the animals out. So that's what I learned very early on. Of course, when you grow up on a farm, you have to take part in farm activities. That's the life of a farm kid. It's rare that you just get to, sit in your room. Dad raised us as it's one of the great things actually, like when your parents are farmers, because mum and dad are obviously both farmers, and it means that you live where your parents work. It's the equivalent of your parents having a shop that you live in or whatever. And so you get to see them work all the time, and you actually get to work alongside them, like long days where dad would be baling hay in the tractor and you're just sitting in there with him, keeping him company and those sort of things. And there was a period in my life for 3 years where every day before school I would go around to the dairy and at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would drive the paddock basher ute around to the dairy in the morning, scrape the ice off the window.
How old?
15 to 17, so the last 3 years of high school. So I would milk the cows in the morning. It wasn't like a stool and a bucket, Dave. It was a slightly more advanced than that.
Yeah.
It was basically a rotary dairy. So if people don't know what a rotary dairy is, it's essentially like a lazy Susan for cows, or, the revolving dance floor at the 21st century nightclub, So the cows would go on one side and Dad would put the machines on the cows, which is the more difficult part, to get the machines on the teats in the first place. And then they would go around the lazy Susan to the other end of the dairy and not where I would take the machines off.
Interesting, because I did a gig down there and a guy was showing me he's got these machines now that the cows go in and that it sort of attaches to the cow by itself. You would have seen these. I'm sure your dad or brother would have shown you a video. You don't have those now, those machines? They're very expensive, apparently.
So there was a point of time for about 15 years after I left school where every Christmas when I went home, the big family joke was my brother or my dad telling me I could go and milk the cows with them the next morning. And for about 15 years, I probably could have done that. I would have known enough about how to milk a cow that I would have been able to do it. But the technology now, so they all have a microchip, the cows, in their ears. So in the old system, they went around that rotary dairy, and just by the time it got around the other side, that was sort of the average it would take to milk a cow. But now they are literally able to track each cow how much they milk. The machines stop when the cows have run out of milk, so they don't just keep unnecessarily milking. It all goes into a computer program where they can see this cow's producing this much milk. Maybe if they're down, that's an indication they might be sick or they need more feed or whatever it is. They can specifically target. My brother, the best way he puts it, and I think this is it kind of simplifies what farming is, but he always says the job of a farmer is to grow grass. The grass growing is really the job of the farmer, and then the cows are the factory. You just put the grass in the factory, and then the cows, as long as you look after the cows are the ones who are making the milk.
One thing I always ask the farmers when I do gigs there, do you have a favourite cow?
Yeah, they have names and,
Did you have a favourite cow growing up? Bessie? Come on, Bessie.
I mean, I've got to be honest with you, and maybe this doesn't go to the romantic story you're trying to tell, but there's 350 of them, and it wasn't really I don't think that we were playing favourites. They mostly had a number and a tag,
Yeah.
That's quite a few, isn't it? 350. That's a lot, isn't it? For a dairy farm, that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I do when I do gigs with farmers. I go, who owns the most cattle here? And they all compete against each other.
So my brother and his wife, who sort of essentially run the farm now, they have a couple of employees, share farmers essentially is the way that it works.
Yeah.
For people who don't know what that is, basically they're people who work for you, but they get a share of the profits. They're literally sharing in a farm, and it's often people who want to get into farming in their own right, and they're sort of learning how to do it, getting into the experience of it. They could push to 500. They've got the capacity to milk 500, but it would mean you'd have to employ more people. And they run pretty much, it's more family farm. It's not a big business.
Does Pura turn up once a week, every day with a big truck, and you
I get the milk.
Yeah, connect it up. How often do they come?
Yeah, that's a good question. Now we're at the edges. I felt like I was pretty good until
you were good.
I really felt like right up until this moment.
It must be weekly or something.
Yeah.
Most of regularly. It comes regularly.
Just lie.
It must be weekly.
Here's what I do know. We had huge refrigerated storage. So basically there's tanks. All the milk goes from the cows into these giant refrigerated tanks. And then the milk tankers, giant tanker trucks basically come along and they empty it out of this refrigeration. But my dad would very famously, Glenn, go down to the dairy because I hadn't tasted what most people would refer to as milk, the milk you would buy at the shop. I didn't taste that really until I was about 14, 15 years old. Until then, it was always fresh farm milk, which would just be my dad going down to the vat and dipping a jug in it and then just coming home, with a jug of fresh milk. So what happens is Dave, you'll love this. It would separate overnight. So all the cream would rise to the top and then sort of be very watery down the bottom.
I love milk.
To come down and not mix it back together before you put it on your cereal in the morning. So essentially you would
now that's romantic. That is romantic.
Yeah. That's in the movie.
Yeah, that's
in the movie.
Yeah, that's
Dad getting the jug.
Yeah.
Do you still like milk? I know you famously said you're a vegetarian, but you can't become a vegan because of your...
Well, I've already disappointed my parents enough, Dave. It's the line. But no, I loved it. I'm a dairy lover, for purely selfish reasons. My grandfather ran the butter factory, when I was growing up, and my dad's a dairy farmer, so it's one of those things where it was very tough for me to walk away from dairy.
No, I love dairy. Oh, Will, that's there. So you knew a lot more than you let on.
Absolutely.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What knowledge.
And I reckon next time we see him live, he's going to be doing it. He's going to be
doing the milk routine.
Some bad jokes. He's going to have something romantic in there, and it's going to finish on with him pouring.
He walk out with the blue overalls and have the whole outfit on.
I did get a lot of this from Gary Larson cartoons. So
yes.
Oh, that's very good.
Well, you can listen to Will. He's doing a great job on Triple M mornings at the moment in Melbourne.
I was on with him the other day.
You were?
Yeah.
With the great Rosie.
On one of the first days and just hand in glove.
First day, Glenn. You were on the very first day.
The first day.
Yeah, and hand in glove, you guys it was coming out easy, and I congratulate you.
It's a good team. You've got Rosie, you've got Daisy, the former footballer.
Yeah. He's a lovely guy. Yeah.
Now, of course, Will's podcast, Willosophy, and
I've been on that.
Yeah, you've been on it. Yeah, I was going to go on it.
Dave and I have been trying to hook this up for about 5 years. You know what? I'm in Melbourne actually for the next couple of months, Dave.
Yeah, I can come on.
We should do this.
Sorry, I didn't mean to set you up there. Bit embarrassing. I'm having a dinner party.
Glenn. We've tried so many times.
Yeah, we were going to once in Byron Bay when we were up there, and we'll come on our podcast.
There's been a range of issues.
Yeah.
Well, when I got invited, I went, I feel very honoured to be part of the Wil Anderson world. I'm crossing over. And then we had lunch together and we hung out, and
very nice.
I tried to solve your problems, you tried to solve mine. And now when we meet each other, we have a knowingness.
That's true.
Yeah,
I'm not as deep as that. So
I'm still really boring.
That's what I worry about. Your podcast is quite deep. I'm not that deep. What's my philosophy? Let people...
Your philosophy is don't worry about it, which I love.
It.
You know what? Don't worry about that shit. Yeah, which is really good.
Don't worry about it. I've been enjoying your work on Triple M, Will. And they did What Tattoos Have You Got on Your Bottom? That was a good one. Yeah, that's... How Triple M is that?
Very good Triple M areas. This morning we worked out that you can make a toasted sandwich in the microwave. So that
that's good. Yeah, that's good. Sometimes that simple stuff is good, All right, thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you.
A cow expert there. Let's talk about sweat, baby. Sweat. I'm not a big sweater.
I'm not a big.
You're not a big sweater.
No, but you do know that if you do sweat, you can get good at sweating. If you exercise a lot, your body it gets good at cooling itself down. So I think you can, because I always reckon it's a bit of a status symbol when you go to the gym and the guy's got the
really sweaty.
Really sweaty. There's cool places for sweat and there's uncool places for sweat. I'll tell you what the cool ones are.
This is a good idea.
Yeah.
Gym?
Oh, yeah, gym, but I'm talking about stains on the body.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So the one around the neck, whenever in the movies when they've been to the gym, you can tell they've just,
sprayed it on.
They sprayed it on. You're not sweating. Just run their fingers through your hair with a bit of water. There's good. Maybe up the back a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they're the two cool ones. What are the uncool areas?
The underarm.
Underarm. When people got sweaty armpits.
It's nothing worse when you're a comedian and it's really hot and you got that sweat patch.
And if you're watching a person perform, or they're on TV and you can see the sweat patch growing, you just go, I'm not thinking about your comedy. I'm thinking about the big sweaty mark there.
Another one on the face.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the mayor of New York, Trump's mate, who had the sweat
so
and then
terrible.
the skin dye came.
It's terrible.
Giuliani.
When you see someone, and if they're being interviewed,
there must be some famous sweating incidents. That's up there. That's one of the famous sweating incidents. Mayor Giuliani.
I reckon if you Google famous sweating on YouTube, there would be some classic stuff.
I mean, fair enough. The Olympics are on at the moment. You sweat when you're doing sport. That's fair enough.
But if you sweat downstairs,
that's bad.
Well, and it shows through your pants.
Or
it goes. There's one on the line of you.
With a crack
of your ass. You just go, and if you don't know the person and they don't know it's there, you go, do I tell them that they've got a sweaty crack? Do I say anything? And you go, surely they know they've got a sweat going on down there.
Yeah.
And then of course the other sweaty for the front bit, bottom bit.
Oh yeah, right. You don't want that.
Yeah. Well, it's
also as a man, you sweat so much for your underarms, it starts to go towards your nipples and stuff like that, and then you're all like, "Oh, it's the worst."
Yeah, it's hot. Now. So there are two types of sweat. I think there's stress sweat.
Yeah.
And there's exercise sweat.
Yeah, that's true. That must be that when you get up on stage sometimes and you see people making a speech and they start sweating.
Yeah. Well, apparently the body is getting rid of something different.
Yeah, right.
I think when you exercise sweat, your body's trying to cool itself down. But when you're stressed sweat, apparently it's different proteins or something.
Oh, really?
Well, they are different. Well, one perspiration and one sweat. What's perspiration? Same thing, isn't it?
Same thing.
But it must be. I think it must have different things in it from the body. And nothing worse than feeling like, oh, here we go. Starting to, get it under my... As a kid, I used to get on my top lip.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So what else can we say?
Sweat.
I mean, if you get a temperature...
And sweat it out like a fever.
If you get a fever, and sometimes you'll take Panadol to bring the fever down, but you have to question, the body is going...
Getting rid of stuff.
Well, it's heating up the body, so the germ or the disease in you doesn't like it and gets sweated out.
Have you sweated so much in your sleep that when you wake up in your pajama top or whatever's wet?
Absolutely. With COVID, that was
COVID, actually, you're right. Yeah.
But I always maintain with stuff like that, I reckon sometimes you sweat during it, but then sometimes like a couple of weeks later, you'll have a sweat out and you go, oh, that's the final thing.
Yes.
Because it's sweating it out. It's actually a good thing. So sweating is a function that it's keeping you healthy.
It's natural.
And then there was they talked about those drinks. Remember we put back in what you've just taken out was sweating.
Yeah.
Hydrolyte? Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
well, I think if you're an elite athlete, you do actually have to drink some of that stuff. But if you're just you or me, there's no reason to drink Gatorade or whatever.
If you've been vomiting a lot,
true.
That's when you need to replace fluid, and Hydrolyte is really good. Or if you've had belly or something like that, you lose a lot of fluid downstairs.
Sweat.
Well,
what about saunas? Are you a fan of a sauna?
Well, there's the thing at the moment, like extreme cold.
You like your ice bath.
I like jumping in the ocean, but the water was so warm over in Bali. I'm just going, I prefer the warm water. But having said that, I do get a real buzz out of going into the cold water. Now, there's these things, what's the name now? The infrared. Infrared is the new schmicko one.
What's that?
Well, it's the new one, apparently.
Oh, infrared sauna?
Yeah.
Right.
And so you go from an infrared sauna into an ice bath, and you have a heart attack. That's basically what you do. But the infrared apparently is very good for you. You don't necessarily sweat. Then there's the old school ones where you get the big wooden one when everyone's got a towel around them, and then you get your ladle of water and you go, and it all gets. You go, fuck, that was a bit hot. Hey, I can't breathe properly now. Well, so it's your wet sauna and your dry sauna.
Right. I've only been in the one where you have the rocks and that.
Yeah.
I don't reckon I've been in it for a long time, but my Uncle Kevin got in a fight.
In a sauna?
Yeah, the Richmond Baths. He said a guy was brushing his teeth. My Uncle Kevin's blind, by the way, so he would have had the white stick with him. And he just...
A bloke was brushing his teeth.
Well, we don't know whether he was brushing his teeth because Kevin's blind. And so then he got in a fist fight with him.
Over what?
Him brushing his teeth. He accused him of brushing his teeth. And the guy said, I'm not brushing my teeth. He said, yeah, you are. And then they started punching on. And Kevin's quote was, he must have been a prize fighter because he took me down. I'm like, yeah, but you're also blind.
What a great story. Number one, I mean, he must have seen the stick. And then he's going, a blind man's had a crack at me. And I'm going, I got this one. And go bang. And
sometimes at the gym, he wouldn't carry his stick around because he's too vain. So I don't know if the guy knew he was blind. All the workers then. I've done a gig for and I go, do you know my Uncle Kevin? Oh, Tomo. They all knew Tomo. Yeah. Because he'd go every day.
He must have already been sitting there. And the guys come in and started, he looked like an everyday. But who threw how would you know where to throw the first punch?
No.
You just start throwing.
Kevin's an unusual person. This is my mum's brother. He moved to Queensland. He lives up in Harvey Bay or something like that because the Meals on Wheels were better up there. That's why he moved.
Oh, that's a good enough reason.
Good enough reason.
I mean, you got to like your food wherever you are.
I think we've done sweat.
Well, yeah. We all do it.
Yeah.
It all happens at appropriate times. I know that sometimes I have to attend to myself when I get a bit sweaty, and we all do that. And you know that.
Let's just say there's nothing worse than there was some movie and they had a song called "Sweat from My Balls." Who was that? Sweat from My Balls.
Really? I don't have that.
You don't get that?
No.
You never get that?
No.
Oh, it's very.
What do you do? Okay.
Wow. Let's just be medical. If you get too much sweat, then you get a heat rash down there. Then you got to put some cream on it, and that is very painful. That heat rash.
Okay.
Have you ever had that heat rash?
I haven't had it there. I've had it in another.
You've never had it?
I've never had it down there.
Wow.
I've had it round the other. Is this okay to talk about this? Yeah, I've had it round the other side.
Oh my God!
What do you mean? Oh my God! What about yours? Yours is worse.
Oh, it's just really painful. But talcum powder used to be recommended.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
But they reckon that's no good for you.
Well, talcum powder's no good because once it gets into your lungs, it doesn't come out. And you shouldn't have talcum powder around kids because...
No.
Yeah. But anyway, there's a cream you can get which is for fungal infections.
Yeah. I've had that cream.
And you put that cream on and it does it pretty quickly.
Yeah,
and
it's good.
Can I just tell you one thing? This is something for nothing. Get your pens out. If you clean too much down... there with soap, you sometimes take away the good stuff.
You aggravate it.
You aggravate it. You heighten it. So you have
to put on the record. I'm not cleaning down there that much. So I don't think I'm cleaning too much.
Well, no, but if you're going
intensely,
if you're getting a rash, question the soap.
Oh, good point. What's that stuff? Yeah, that cream stuff. Yeah.
Question, because that soap sometimes it irritates, and so therefore. If I know people write down notes from this show all the time.
Yeah.
And that is one. If you're getting a rash down there, question your soap and then maybe just lighten off a little bit.
Yeah.
There you go. God.
I can't remember.
We went there, and I don't think we made people feel uncomfortable.
It's medical.
Or maybe we have made people have turned off. If you're still listening, congratulations.
Yeah, we're going to talk about thrush now. Okay, what thinking music can we have?
No, just before you go there, there are conditions where you can get sweaty hands, you can get sweaty armpits, you can get sweaty... Botox can control that.
Yes, we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
When we did Botox.
Yeah. How horrible would it be if you were a sweaty hand guy?
Yeah, no good. When you shake someone's hand, they're sweating.
You touch someone and you got someone touches you with a sweaty hand, you go, that is repulsive.
Yeah, because fair enough if you're on a building site and you're working or something, but if you're just like an accountant,
every time you touch, you put your hand
like a
on
wet fish.
Oh God! So we feel for you if you have those things, but if you have got that, Botox can fix it up.
Okay,
there you go.
Thinking music. We should find that song. Sweat from a. I think it was.
We can't play a song.
Oh, okay. It's a parody. It's from a movie though.
Are there any famous scenes in
Sweat?
Is there? What was it? We could do it. Wasn't there an ad with cowbells?
Sweat. There's an ad with Sweat. Sweat it out. Is that Solo or something like that? Or
oh yeah,
cows.
Solo man. Or we could. I mean, it's no more than the line itself, but there is that line from Kramer in Seinfeld where they're in a sauna.
Oh.
Well, I say what the line is.
No, let's just play it.
Yeah. Okay.
Love it at Kramer.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I want to be her boyfriend. It's like a sauna in here. It's funny. You're a funny guy.
I never heard that before.
All right, yeah, very funny, Kramer.
Yeah, it's like a sauna in here.
Cows and sweat.
I know that hippos sweat a different colour sweat to other animals. I think they have red sweat or something.
Oh, really? Maybe that's the answer.
I'm going to say that cows sweat cream. No, not cream.
Milk.
Well, they sweat. They don't sweat liquid. They have a different type of sweat.
I'm going to say cows and sweat. Maybe cows don't sweat. They don't sweat at all.
At all. Okay.
What's the answer, Sam?
Cows don't sweat. Cattle do not sweat effectively and rely on respiration to cool themselves.
Wow.
That's interesting.
You have been listening to Somehow Related with Glenn Robbins and Dave O'Neill.
So, having said that, they don't do much to really get a sweat up, do they?
True.
You know, they're not like they're running through the fields.
What if bulls sweat? Because they run around a bit.
Yeah, I reckon they probably. And is there a reason why they don't sweat? I wonder why they don't sweat.
Yeah.
What is the function of that? I don't really know.
Yeah.
But anyway, now what were we going to talk about?
I've remembered the movie that I'm thinking of with the Sweat from My Balls song. It's a Chris Rock movie called CB4.
Yeah.
It's a very early Chris Rock movie where he plays a rapper. It's a funny movie, actually. He's like a middle-class black kid in LA, and he pretends to be straight out of jail to be like a gangster rapper.
Wow, I've never heard.
And so he goes home and he talks trash to his mum. His mum hits him. Don't talk rubbish to me, young man. And, he's calling her all this mother, whatever. And but here, do you want to hear a bit of the song? I don't know. It'll be up to Courtney whether we can play a bit.
Well, do you want to?
Can you play like 10 seconds or something? There's something.
But what do we do if you don't hear it? Then our producer Courtney just said we can't have it. But if you do hear it, then that's good. But maybe we can just have a few seconds of it. Just the part where does he talk about sweat?
Yeah, he does.
Maybe we can have 5 seconds of it.
Okay, here
Courtney,
we go.
Our boss will let
we'll
us.
see.
The man in charge will let us do it.
We'll see what happens.
Sweat from my balls, you can feel it. Sweat from my balls, you can feel it. Sweat from my balls.
All about sweat.
Wow, it's on topic.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this, I don't want you to worry that you might have sweaty nether regions. You haven't. You're doing fine. You put a bit of talcum powder down there this morning. Everything's fine.
Gee, they repeated about 100 times. Oh, we should go. Seriously. All right. Bye-bye.